Hello, this is Heisenberg.
Hi, and this is GForever.
And we're here to review the new NECA Shin Godzilla figure.
Yep, and we're also going to compare the NECA figure with all the other figures on the market. We're going to try to compare which figure to be the best value, as well as rate which figures that we like the best.
So yeah, this sells for about $24.
Yep, and I believe it just came out this week. So this is May 2017. It's the only Shin Godzilla figure that's available in the USA, sold retail, to retailers in the USA.
Yeah, so it should be in stores like Toys R Us. Probably start showing up at Toys R Us sometime around mid-May. And yeah, some comic book stores will probably sell it too.
Yep, it's about 6 inches tall. I think they advertise as 12 inches long.
Yeah, looking good. Yeah, so let's talk about, it's in the scale with we got him on the table here. He's next to the Bandai Shin Godzilla on one side.
Put them together? Okay,
let's hold them there. Yeah, so it's like, here's the, so I'll show you. So yeah, it's pretty much in scale with the Bandai Shin Godzilla. So I'm holding the Bandai Shin Godzilla.
I've got the NECA right here.
Yeah. And then the other one that's close to the same scale is the the S.H. MonsterArts here.
Yep, and these two are the more articulate figures. But like all MonsterArts, they have more articulation than the NECAs. For the price, again, NECA does do a good job with the articulation. So you can see like you can move the mouth. You have a few segments on the tail, legs, and the arms, and also the torso and the neck. The paint job on this figure is, I feel, much more accurate than the MonsterArts. So typically MonsterArts has like wins over the NECA completely, but this time I feel the NECA did a really good job. My two complaints of this figure is the head is a little too long, and within the head, like the webbing is a little too much. On the spines, I like that it's red, but it's a little too red. I think they just kind of sprayed the black on the top so you can kind of see like the line where the red and the black meets. Yeah, Other than that, I love the paint job, and the sculpt is great. Like the chest area is really sharp. You can see all the red highlights, which is missing in pretty much the MonsterArts. The Bandai has no paint pretty much. So it's really nice that for a $25 figure, you have a nice, accurate
the paint.
Godzilla figure.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the paint because, like I said, in the movie, Shin Godzilla, he's basically kind of like lava. He's like this charcoal black, and in the cracks and the seams, he's like this glowing red, and I really like that look. So then first the Bandai came out in Japan, the 6-inch Bandai, and they mostly, I guess maybe to make it less expensive, he's mostly just solid black with a little red on a few of the pieces. But so my main disappointment with the Bandai is that it's solid black, you don't get the red in the seams. Then the MonsterArts came out, and he's just kind of like this, it's as if the black and the red are just kind of, were mixed together in the paint. He's just kind of like this uniform, black with kind of reddish tones to it. And it's like, you don't get the, the black with the red in the seams. So now finally, with the NECA, here it is. It's like black. It's like, kind of like a lava black with the red in the seams, and looks great. That's one of the best things about this figure. Yeah. But yeah, as GForever is saying here, I think the big disappointment is the head. As we were talking earlier, he said it's like, if you just even didn't look at the head and looked at the rest of it, then it looks very good. But like with the head, it's like the head looks a little too long. Unfortunately, so it doesn't look quite movie accurate. And then, yeah, as I said, if you open it up, the webbing just doesn't look very good. And if you try to look straight into his mouth, that doesn't look very good either. And again, I also think that the spikes are actually a little too red. That the spikes, there's a lot of red on the spikes, which you think would be a good thing, but I think it's just a little too much. It looks a little, it just looks a little overdone. It's a little sloppy.
Yep. One other thing I want to point out: the tail for the NECA is longer than normal, which could be because of the character. I think you have the 94 NECA.
Yeah, like this is the 94 NECA, and yeah, the one thing that's just pretty distinctive about NECA versus S.H. MonsterArts is that NECA tends to have short tails. So in this case, I guess because of the movie. In the movie, one of the distinctive things about Shin Godzilla is that he's got a really long tail. So they did give him so compared to a normal NECA Godzilla figure, he does have a very long tail. Yep. But yeah, I think it's still shorter than... So it looks like it's about, again, it's in scale with the Bandai. Let's try the Bandai first. Sure. So it looks like it is pretty much matches the length of the Bandai, just about exactly.
Yeah. That
they're about the same length.
Yeah, both are about 6 inches, so they did a good job with the scale.
Yeah. But yeah, again, the S.H. MonsterArts is a slightly bigger,
much longer.
Yeah, it's slightly bigger scale, and he's got a much longer, much more longer and more impressive tail.
Yeah. Another thing to point out with the tails, I guess we can first start off with the tip of the tail. You'll see that, again, MonsterArts has a much more accurate sculpt where it's kind of blobby on the NECA. That's fine. I mean, for the price of the figure, you know, that's not something I would go after too much. But you do notice that where that half face that's on the tail, that you can't really see it too well based off of the paint and also the sculpt. You do see, you can sort of see it, like you can see like the mouth area, but the eye area that you can see in the other figures, you don't have like that skull indent for the eye.
Yeah, it's not nearly as precise. The NECA tail, the tip of the NECA tail, it doesn't have the same precision and detail as the other figures.
But you know, for what it is, it's pretty good.
But another thing is,
the spots.
Yeah, it's got weird spots on it.
It's kind of like orange, right?
Yeah, orange
or peach color. My guess is they were trying to go with that fleshy color from the MonsterArts and also the X Plus. But they probably just wanted to either save money or maybe didn't want to be so explicit with that fleshy color that you see in the other two figures of the X Plus and the MonsterArts.
Yeah, it looks kind of strange, and I've seen it online in other people's figures that they got. There's just a few spots of like orange on the tip of the tail, and it really, again, it's not accurate to the movie. And it just seems a little random. But yeah, it's like apparently they did it on purpose because it's
on every figure.
It's on every figure I've seen.
Yeah. One other thing we noticed that there's like a hunch or kind of like a bump in one of the tail segments.
Yeah, or a crook.
A crook,
or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, you can sort of see it in the Bandai. I'm not sure if this figure was based off of the tail from the Bandai, and I guess you can sort of see in all the other figures, but I guess it would have been nice if maybe they didn't make this like a permanent piece, so the user can play around with it a little more. But it's okay. I mean, I don't mind it too much because it makes it a different sculpt, and you can pose it a little differently.
Yeah, it kind of bugs me. Because like I said, it's like looking at all the at all the Shin Godzilla figures. All the tails have like a little bit of like a bump to them, but I think they got carried away on the NECA. On the NECA, it's like it's a little too extreme, and it's built right into it, so there's no like getting rid of it. So it looks, I don't know, to me it looks a little weird, and I find it distracting and disappointing. But
I do like how the tail you can really turn it.
Yeah,
it's
like
much easier than the MonsterArts because the MonsterArts falls down a lot, so you can turn it almost all the way. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
this figure.
Yeah, the articulation on the tail is pretty nice. Yeah, you can get a lot more poses on it than with the MonsterArts. MonsterArts, when I try to pose it, mostly just falls off.
Yeah.
So this is, this one that's set up so you can do, you got quite a range of motion.
Yeah. Again, I really love the paint job on it for this figure.
Alrighty, so let's see what else we might want to mention here.
Yeah. So we pretty much have every Shin Godzilla on the table that's out on the market, both in Japan and in the U.S. The only one that we don't have is the $901,000 Kotobukiya figure.
Oh yeah, so here on the table here,
start from
we've got,
the left of the HGs.
Yeah, we've got Burning Godzilla, because why not? You know,
oh yeah,
he's new. He's brand new.
He just came out this week, maybe 2 days ago in Japan. A few days ago in Japan, and I just got him 2 days ago in the mail. So this is probably one of my favorite characters. So it's really nice to have the X plus 30 centimeter Burning Godzilla with me from 1995. I got the Rick Boy version, so I'm a little excited that I got this extra piece, which is the Oxygen Destroyer from the movie. I have another one from the gigantic Burning Godzilla, which is I didn't bring it with me, but that's when the Oxygen Destroyer was already used, so it's all rusted and everything. And this one's like a clean Oxygen Destroyer, which I guess maybe just activated because you can see the opening inside. So pretty neat. Nice in chrome.
Oh yeah.
Clear green glass.
So yeah, why don't we start at the one end, and why don't we both say like what we think, if it's worth it or not. But yeah, and then one thing is, so yeah, on the very end is like one of the Gashapon, like the minifigures. This was the first. Yeah, this was the first. Okay, well, there's two Gashapon. So the first one is like the red one, and then they just came out with a new Gashapon minifigure, which is purple, with his mouth open.
Yep.
So like he's so he's using his atomic breath.
And I believe you said there's two jaws, one with open mouth and the other one with the split open mouth. And
I did a like really short review where I showed both of these, and like recently, so you might want to watch that. But I like these. But again, the main disadvantage is that they're only sold in Japan. So if you want to get them in the U.S., you got to pay extra. You got at the bare minimum, you got to pay a lot to get it shipped over from Japan. So, other than that, I'm a little. So it's like the added expense of buying them from Japan is disappointing. But otherwise, they're fun to have.
All right.
And then this is the NECA. Just to fix this isn't Shin Godzilla. This is the 1994 NECA, which I just put out here just
for comparison. Yep. So you'll see it's within the same scale. If you want to put the two NECAs together, same scale.
Yeah, same scale. Not a lot of less. Yeah, similar in a lot of ways. Again, the tail I think is the main. Is like one of the main differences.
Yeah. So unlike MonsterArts, which they made the MonsterArts figure larger than the other MonsterArts, so this one they kept it within the same scale.
Yeah.
For the NECA series.
Yeah. So the Shin Godzilla NECA, it's the same scale as the other Godzillas. Oh, actually, the dorsal fins actually seem a little sloppy on mine. The one I got, like the one is like a little bent.
Yeah, it looks like this guy. This first one from the body segment. That one looks like it's a little flopped over.
Yeah, because with the 94 NECA, like the fins are all like nice and straight and organized. These look a little like they're a little bent. Some of them are a little bent, and also the way, just the whole placement of them seems a little random. Which I think some of that I think is intentional, but I think it looks a little too sloppy.
Yeah. So we've seen the MonsterArts quite a few times. I mean, he did a few videos, so here's the MonsterArts again.
Yeah, I think the dorsal fins, basically on all, I like the fins better on all the other Shin Godzillas figures. I think the worst of all these figures, the worst dorsal fins are the NECA ones, both because of the paint and because of it's just kind of like the paint's kind of sloppy. The whole look of it's a little sloppy. And it just doesn't look quite as cool. It doesn't look as detailed.
Yeah. When you say worse, you mean between NECA through X Plus, not the XG or the small band or the Bandais, because those are kind of not as accurate, I wouldn't say, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I even like the.
You like the Bandai one more too?
I like the Bandai one a little better too. I mean, there's not a lot, and that's also the Bandai's not terribly detailed, the fins, but I think the paint is at least like a little cleaner.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Yep. And again, they're not crooked. They're not, it's not bent at the top like mine.
I think the bent is probably due to the materials. If you look at the MonsterArts, this is hard plastic. Like I think if I press too hard, this will actually break and snap. This is more like a rubber or soft plastic. You do a lot of play with it. If we look at Banpresto, this one is softer than the MonsterArts, but it is still more stiff, more harder than the NECA. So Banpresto, I believe, was the first Shin Godzilla figure to come out, the accurate one at least. So we did a review on this, I believe, comparison before, so you can check that out. So we won't go too much into detail of this guy.
And it looks like it is being sold again in Japan. So you can get it for less money, but it's still well over $100 to try to get it in the U.S.
And yeah, for the second generation, there's 3 versions, I want to say. They have the regular one. I think the red paint on this is the original, the very first release. I didn't get the other ones yet, and I don't plan to because due to the price, and there's too many of them. But so I think the regular version is the same color scheme. I think the red is actually brighter, and you can see it in the lines more. So this one is more subtle. But I like this figure based off the shape of it.
I'm tempted to get this one. Yeah, it's only the price is holding me back a bit, but definitely it's like I would be very happy to have this in my collection. A lot. Yeah, I like his expression. Yeah, I like the whole shape. Yeah, I like the expression on the head. I like the way the tail, like the structure of the tail, like the shape of the tail. I really like the the spikes on the back. So yeah, very very nice.
Yeah.
So like you said, we had the
so
where were
and then there was the purple one and the frozen one. Yep.
Yeah, and haven't seen those in person. Just saw a few pictures online.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got the Gashapon. This is like the 6-inch Bandai.
Yep. So we got the NECA. Here's the 10-inch Bandai, the king size series. So it's very similar to the 6-inch Bandai, but they didn't really put too much effort into painting it. So you have very limited paint on the chest, the legs, and the fins, and a little bit on the tail. Tail's really thick, and I believe it's shorter than the scale. It doesn't look like it's really in scale. Sculpt is decent, a little overpriced. I think it was, when I got it, it was around $75. I believe if it ever makes it to the US, this is probably like $20-30.
Yeah, it'd be nice to buy. Yeah, if they sell it in the US, it would definitely be nice to buy. Like again, just having it shipped from Japan made it more expensive, which is kind of which makes it So it's not clear if it's worth it.
Plus, I think MSRP in Japan is higher. I want to say it was $40-50 after conversion in Japan. Then we have X Plus, which is a very accurate representation of Shin Godzilla. This is a 25 centimeter.
Oh yeah, we made a video of that too.
Yes, we did.
Including the Rick. GForever also has the Rick Boy variant.
Yep. The Rick Boy has the purple scheme, and also comes with an additional head with the split mouth, wide mouth open. So we'll just go over this really quick. Again, the red scheme. I think the fins on this is really good. The red really shows in this figure. If you put like LED lights in here, or if you just want to briefly put a flashlight in it, it gets a really nice effect. I think we showed that in the last video as well. The tip of the tail, I think they did a nice job with the bony, fleshy color.
Yeah, so
I think you can see the scale with the 25 centimeter and the 30 centimeter. So I believe the X Plus will eventually get to a 30 centimeter. So you'll probably see Shin Godzilla in this scale in the future.
Oh yeah. Now, okay, well, we'll pose this question. So, like, one thing, like, if money were no object, I mean, if they all cost the same, but you had to pick your favorites, It's like so. What you like maybe the three favorites. It's like what would your
or put them in order? How about that?
Or
the top three.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the top three? Like again, like assuming that not taking into account the price.
So this is kind of hard because each figure has its own thing. I really like the sculpt of the spines on the MonsterArts. This really came out nice.
Yep. Yep.
I think the only thing is of the MonsterArt. I like the articulation. I was disappointed with the articulation in the tail because in most MonsterArts figures the tails can do a lot of poses, but you're kind of limited with this one because it falls off. It's a little heavy, so it kind of doesn't really stay in place, as you see.
Yeah, it sometimes comes off.
It comes off, yeah. I think around these two segments. There's a lot of play involved, so I like that. But unfortunately, the paint is it lost me on the paint scheme. The NECA wins with the paint scheme. I don't have this in my collection yet, but I do plan to get it. But in this figure, the head lets me down, and I guess the painting on the spines. Banpresto's great, but no articulation at all. I'm not a huge fan of the face, but I think Heisenberg likes the face more than I do. I love the tail, the shape of the tail in this figure because it looks very movie accurate.
Yeah.
Bandai's, no paint job, but as a Bandai lover, they're great to have. X Plus, I think, may be the winner this case. I think they did a good job with the face, the head, very movie accurate.
Nice big, nice and big.
The
and
size
nice big tail.
the size is good. I like how I believe the base is clear red and they just painted over it so you can have that nice glowing red effect when you have light going through it.
Yeah, I hope they do that themselves. I hope they just make another version of it where they got a light inside and they don't raise the price too extreme.
Yeah. But I think between if I had to choose the top three, I would probably want to say I probably may go with X Plus based off if we're not taking price into consideration. Probably X Plus, then Banpresto. But then again, I really like the shape of Banpresto. It's really tough for me. But I like the face of the X Plus. So I'll go with X Plus, Banpresto, and then I want to say Bandai versus NECA. I think NECA wins because of the color. The paint job, sorry.
Yeah. Well, actually, similarly, I would say, even with price being no object, my favorites are the X Plus and the Banpresto, and then and actually, I think I would actually go with the Bandai.
Yeah.
Even though it bugs me that he's not red, he only has very little red on him. He's just kind of a like a cute little guy. I kind of like him. I was just really impressed by him.
Yeah, I mean the sculpt itself is great. You know what?
So sculpt for the sculpt, but not for the paint.
Yeah.
Certainly if
it was painted like this, I would love the Bandai.
Yeah, so if we could have basically we want the NECA's paint job
on the Bandai sculpt.
On like a Bandai sculpt, something like that. I think some people, I guess, did
custom painted
it themselves.
And it looks great.
Yeah.
I'm going to Universal Japan soon, so I'll try to pick up the variant at Universal. I'm curious to see what it looks like in person.
They got a variant of the Bandai.
There's two of them. One is the normal sculpt with the, I want to say, blue and purple highlight on the fins. And then the new one has like the open mouth. So I hope I can get either one, but I would prefer the open mouth just for something different.
I like the looks of that open mouth one.
Yeah.
But but also giving price. So we should also talk about this. Like, what if we do take price into account as a U.S. citizen in particular? So here we are sitting in the U.S. having to import all of these except for the NECA.
Yeah.
So that boosts up the NECA quite a bit for me.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's like you can go to Toys R Us, $24 plus tax, pick up the NECA. It's like that's
a winner.
That's
a
great.
winner.
So and also it's 1/5. It's like 1/5 of the price, even without the paying for shipping. The S.H. MonsterArts in Japan, I think the lowest it sold for was about $125.
And that's when it first came out. Now I think the prices are well over 200. I paid over MSRP, and it was a tough pill to take, but it is what it is.
So even if they sold the S.H. MonsterArts in the U.S., they would sell it for about $125. So the fact that the NECA is like 1/5 of the price certainly makes it makes it quite quite a good deal.
Yep. Bandai is about $6 to $10 in Japan. So once it gets here, it's probably 20 to 30.
So also the band, taking the price into account, like both the band, even having to pay to get it for the shipping, the Bandai's it's pretty nice.
Banpresto, it was a prize figure, so there's no real money amount from for it. I don't know how much the lottery tickets were, but anyways, people I think sold them. I think it was as it first came out at one something, then 2 something, 3 something. I think I paid around the 200-300 range, and then it's around 400 the last time I checked. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Oh yeah, but then still, it's like I like the X Plus, even though it's really expensive. I think he is worth it, and it's nice that that you didn't have to like basically buy him secondhand. You could buy him you could buy him from from a retailer.
Yeah, and he was readily available. There was they had 2 releases. The first release, I think it was December, January, and then I got him at the second release because I got the Rick. I didn't think of doubling up originally, but when I saw your normal Shin Godzilla, it looked really nice, and I bit another bullet.
Oh yeah, okay. So there we are, and then there are some others we don't have because they're ridiculously expensive, like $1,000 or more.
Yeah,
you can buy an even bigger and fancier,
even larger. I think it's maybe within scale of the gigantic series. I'm not sure. It's very large. I remember it's when someone was holding in the picture. It's almost like 3 or 4 feet long. Must be.
Oh yeah, big enough to eat all the rest of these. But that's beyond my budget. I got bills to pay and all that. But alrighty. Okay, I think
in summary.
In summary, it's like the NECA
definitely worth it. I would go for it if you find it.
Oh yeah. Here at last. Yeah. Here at last. And I'll be curious. Maybe they'll make another. Maybe they'll make other versions of it too. Maybe they'll. Even with this one, maybe. Because if it goes through the factory more than once, sometimes they'll make improvements each run through the factory. So maybe the paint will get even better on this one, and then they might end up reselling with different paints. Like they might end up making a purple version or a yellow version or who knows what.
Frozen version.
Yeah.
There's a repaint of the GMK on the way with the blue highlights. I think it even comes with an accessory where he has the fire breath. I wouldn't be surprised if they redo the head with the open wide mouth with the split jaw and have a purple scheme. And who knows, maybe the head on that figure will look good. So I would say NECA, definitely get it if you find it and if you can.
Alrighty, so this is Heisenberg
and GForever.
Yeah, hoping you enjoy your NECA Shin Godzilla figure and all the rest of them.
Yep.